Good afternoon.
Hello out there.
I know we were late.
Yeah, we
I was
running.
running around, Linda.
Mm-hmm.
I was running around. Baby girl pulled a muscle today, and I'm trying to work on her. And there's Vern. Hey, Verndy, I'm glad you're
Vern,
in here with us today. Whew.
Verney,
Now I gotta catch my breath.
Miss Lindley.
I gotta catch my breath. Yeah, Linda, she pulled a muscle. Can you believe that?
Dion, yeah.
And here
She
comes
done that
here comes
before.
Dee Dee. Yeah, she has. The older she gets, the more she does it. Unfortunately.
Jump like she's a teenager.
So just now she was upstairs on the bed, and I have to take her through her ritual before we do our live stream, so she won't bug us while we're doing the live stream. And she wouldn't jump off the bed because her leg hurt. So I had to go up there and help her off the bed. So anyhow, here we are. Here we are.
We made
it. Hello, Sandra. How are you? And look, and Pastor was sitting here. Vern, he was sitting here looking at the clock, knowing it was after 7, and didn't say a word till I said, "What time is it?" He said, "It's 5 minutes after 7." Well, such is my life. Hello, John Greason. Glad you're here with us. And Phyllis and Edward, glad you're here.
Hello, Edward J, Phyllis J.
Linda said, "What leg?"
Vincent Kelly J.
The right front. The right front. Hey, Vincent Kelly.
Right front.
Yeah. She asked what leg.
Oh,
it's the right front.
Oh, okay.
And Vern knows exactly what I'm talking about because he's good for that, isn't he, Vern?
Oh, she done jumped off the bed and hurt her hip?
No, she's good. She knows how you would just let things happen and not say anything.
Ain't no
and just watch it
She
happen.
gets upset. I don't. I ain't getting upset about it.
No, I'm
because
not upset.
I know what we got to do.
I'm not upset. It's just the way he is. Anyway, Deb, hello. Hello, sissy and brother-in-law.
Miss Hill.
Hello, Judy Jude. For those of you who just came in, you're late in the conversation. I was running around. We were late coming on because I was trying to help baby girl who sprained her leg today somehow. And anyway, we were just chatting a little bit. Glad you guys are here with us. What you talking about tonight, Mr. Sawyer, since you're ready?
Well, let's talk about the birds and the bees.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. Boy, that's a heavy one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Yes,
well, you know, we're still talking about our true self.
Always talking about
and
that.
What has been with me this season is when we hear the conversation, how can I get there?
Yeah, Vincent said, I've been saying this all week. That's just the way you are. What's that all about?
That sounds like a song. I love you just
the way you are. That's exactly right.
I don't get my underwear in a knot when things come up like that.
No, he can watch it. He can just watch
look at
it.
Mm-hmm. So what we're running into a lot of people that when we present something like the pure self, the essence, your true identity,
and use those words.
Yeah, there seems to be if you discern the conversation and listen to the voice that's speaking and speaking from, speaking to, and speaking at, you will find out through the experience of locality, and you'll be able to inwardly map out what is actually doing the speaking. So we ask the question often, how do I get this? How do I see this? Mm-hmm. You can be shown how and taken through the steps, but in the true identity of yourself, there are no steps. It's all at the present moment.
Okay.
That should seal it off there.
Okay.
But what has been dealt with is that I don't feel like it. Mm-hmm. My mind is still thinking ugly thoughts. My it just don't like in the brick and mortar, it don't line up with the book.
Okay.
I haven't found it in the book, and I'm not going to believe it unless the book say so.
Okay. Yeah, we've heard that.
But you're not going to find in the book Van Camp pork and beans either, but they're down at the store. So, 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 so I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but I'm just.
Oh, yes, you
Yes,
are.
it was. Okay. All right. It ain't. It is down at the store. Okay. But when you get there, you either will find that it's on the shelf or not, and if you don't find it on the shelf, you keep going until you find it at a store, depending on how bad you want it.
Right.
We've been conditioned to believe, based on what we read, and conditioned with the brick and mortar, that everything that we need from God has to come. It has to be a process, and it has to be something that we do to activate it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a chance out on the water. I'm going to walk the water and say this. It is not true.
Okay.
And I'm basing it on the fact of my years of investigation into the eternal self. Well, you might say, what about those who are mean and hateful? It's there. It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
It's called there-ness. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't read my Bible today. It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pray today. It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to hear the last message that came on from Brother Sawyer and Sister Sawyer. It's still there.
Linda said she believes in pork and beans.
Well, I like them too, baby doll. I mean, they got a little power to them. They got a little.
Yeah, one of our favorite dishes is pork and beans and wieners.
Oh, they'll knock a knot in your belly. Now you don't want to eat them boys and then lay down there talk to you all night.
They're not that healthy. I mean, that's not a really healthy meal, but
I like the pork and beans.
it's a good filling meal.
It'll get you through the chase.
It fills you up really good.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you get plenty of fiber.
Yeah, go ahead and tear the beans up. Ain't nothing wrong. Add little pintos in there. I have mixed pintos and pork and beans. Yeah, make a stew out of it. But now you have to understand that when you start looking at this thing in the present moment, that's going to change the way you talk and communicate.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else.
Okay.
There's something about essence that I'm running into today that I'm telling you, it's been really a bombshell to me. The creativeness of essence is almost like essence agenda is fulfilled within itself. That's what I'm running into.
Well, essence. A lot of times, I think sometimes when I hear the word essence, in the past, I haven't really understood what it meant.
Okay.
I know that it is the essential nature that we are before we come into these bodies. I know that is the essential.
I'll give you an example of the essence, like you said.
Okay.
When you take an orange and cut it and squeeze it, or go to the store and get orange juice in a bottle. If you go back and look at that orange in with the covering on it.
Yes.
The peeling on it.
Yes.
If you squeeze it, the essence comes out.
Yes.
Apple juice, essence.
Exactly.
Anything you cook to put flavor in it is essence, but it doesn't say anything.
And it doesn't change. And it doesn't really. Its qualities don't change.
Its qualities don't change.
You may change.
Did you hear what she said?
The way
she said the clue.
Yes, its qualities.
It don't change.
You may add things to it, but its
change.
qualities don't change.
Now, look at it like this. It is a quality. It is the quality. It is our true self.
It's our true self, our essential self.
If you would say essence and run across anything that essence has to do with God and his unchanging identity self, you almost don't want to put identity in there because I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. That's what he said about today. But if you get into this thing, I think you're going to see, you can't smell it, you can't see it,
Mhm.
You can't touch it, but it has
But
something about it that gives you the intuitive idea that you can
you
see.
can't
You
experience
can
it.
see what you
Mhm.
can't see, hear what you can't hear. How do you hear something that don't make noise, but yet you still hear it?
Sure. Sure.
Now, to me, that should be the end of this program today for you guys to go right into and investigate. And some of you already have. Just
Yeah,
making a
they may
statement
know
now.
it more better.
You may know
They
more about it.
more better
And
than
if you
us.
do know some more about it than what we're saying, please comment about it. Let us know. Because
Yes.
that to me is the answer to the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Okay, another thing I found out that we back in the day of the evangelicals, for us and apostolic we call it, they said on the day of Pentecost the Spirit came.
Yes, that's what they. Yeah, that's the
That's the
perception.
perception.
Mm-hmm.
Now here we are 50 some years later finding out that the verbalization of this in the book and things that are said in the book is talking about past. It's happened then, so you got to do something to make it happen again.
Okay.
Then I'm finding out that we get addicted to the happenings of the manifestation
Yes.
and leave the true fact of being in the present moment. We go
Yeah.
off on a tangent
Yeah.
and get stuck on I got. And then we go to
Or I gotta get.
I gotta get it. I didn't get enough of it.
Mhm.
Then we come up with this terminology. We used to say it all day long. How do you get filled with the Spirit? As though God stuck his head in the door and left the rest of himself outside in the yard.
Mhm.
I always said it like this. I can't get in the shower or the bathtub and tell God, if you don't want to get wet, you wait out here till I get out.
Well, that's why I always use the analogy of the raisin in a bun, and that
Okay.
I know I've probably overused it, but it's the best analogy when you think about God in us, as us. We're most of us. I had, and I don't know about everybody else, but I had the concept of God being in me like a raisin is in a bun. It's in me, but still compartmentalized,
Okay.
still separate. I am still a separate being, and
Mhm.
God is still a separate being. And even knowing that, my eyes and my focus was centrally on a sky God that was even more remote than that.
Mhm.
So it was like that was the concept that I had, coming to the place where there was no longer an illusion of a separate me,
Mhm. Yeah.
where I realized that God was in me like Kool-Aid in water,
I'll give you an example.
like sugar in
Mhm.
in flour in that
Mhm.
bun.
Mhm.
And so there is no possible way to separate it.
In the case of surgery, first surgery, they replaced the shoulder on this left arm. 3 weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, they replaced it in this arm. I can't get it out. I can't just say, I don't want it no more. I think I just pull it out and set it on the table. You can't do it. It is, when I move, it moves. And every once in a while, it'll let me know that it's there in the freshness on my right shoulder because it's a pain that comes through it if I move a certain direction until I have fully in my body self matched up with it to a point where I no longer pay any attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pay any attention to the left one now because
Mm-hmm.
I'm raising it
Because it's
up and down.
become a
But this
part
one,
of you.
I'm slow about it until
It's become
it
a
has
part
to
of
mate.
you. You have actually assimilated it.
Yes, that's good. Good deal. Good
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Good deal.
And until now, you're not constantly thinking, I've got an artificial shoulder. I've got an artificial shoulder.
I do like that, and I can feel that it hasn't made it yet, but I'm working on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to keep doing the movement.
Well, and that's what little babies do when they
Mhm.
come into the world. They have to acclimate to this body.
I like that word.
They have to completely acclimate to this body to the point where they begin to have all control of these faculties. And at that point is when they really begin to identify that they are that.
Now, this is the power of God unto salvation. Salvation means I finally woke up to the actual fact that I've never left God.
And cannot.
That is the real
Yeah,
definition of
yeah,
salvation.
yeah.
The false one says, I never been, I have to get back there. But you have to understand that each one of us, if we are liars, it's still there. If we are beggars, it's still there. If we are married, if we any negative words you want to say was there, that essence does not leave.
Do you think we have conceptualized oneness?
Thank you.
We have conceptualized it in the sense that
Thank
we
you.
think it is two joined together, but there has never been two.
Yes.
And that's from God's vantage point, there has never been two. And the idea of there being a separate me is the illusion. That is the illusion.
We've always investigated.
Yeah, we have.
We've always looked into when we run across the scripture or that saying, I am crucified with Christ. I dropped my chin and I looked at her when we back in our young days, back in our 20s and 30s. I said, what is that saying? Is that saying back there somewhere in this thing that was a me that actually went through this with Jesus for real on the in the crucifixion? Oh God, I didn't think about it like I do now, but now my eyes are open and I see.
And you're referring to Galatians 2:20.
Galatians 2:20, yeah.
That we were crucified with Christ, yes, and we took it literally.
Yeah.
Not so much physically, literally, but we realized it actually did happen.
I'm telling you, it struck us so much that it upset, ruled, and wrote documents in our insides and said,
it's been our mantra for years.
It's real. And from that point on, we began to investigate what is the definition of union and oneness. Most of the information we run across during that time would only take us so far, far as being us and him.
Yes.
Him in us.
Vincent says this: when we become babies, we shifted our consciousness concept in our being.
Yes.
Time to reconstruct back to the true concept. And what's happening, I agree, Vincent, is we are being rewound. It's like a whole lifetime has been played, and now it's being rewound all the way back to the very beginning so that we can see our actual origin.
When you say that, I thought of a generator on a car. What they do is you take an alternating generator, take it to the shop, and they were rewound. What's that word? I'm trying to get that from my
rewind.
Fix the thing. They fixed it.
He's trying to say we
wow. They fixed the thing so it works. Now God. Now wait a minute. Every time I say God, there's something. I don't like to say something. The me, the you.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Try talking to somebody, just a conversation, just normal every day, and somebody and you meet even your girlfriend or your dog, anything. Start talking to them and like God is not in them. You may start off in them, but like they are Him, and turn your ear awareness to the fact that He's actually standing there in them as them. Whether they know you or not, if you say good morning, I see people. A guy passed me this morning. I was walking slow with the dog. He said, good morning. I said, good morning. What is it, baby?
Iona says, we wow.
We wow. See, y'all. We wound. We wound.
Oh, my gosh.
They rewound the alternator. They put that copper wire in that, and we wound it. They rewound it.
And as a matter of fact, when my brother was living, he was so silly. My brother was. He would say things, and then he would say, "Wait a minute, I'm gonna rewound that." And then he would repeat it.
And it sounded like the same thing.
Yes, it did. Yeah, but the illusion of a separate me is what we're being rewound out of. because we have lived our entire physical lives
Yes.
believing that
Yes.
we are a separate entity, and that we had that this is our life, and really in actuality it's God's life.
I can be standing in front of people now that I know this, and I can feel what's looking at me from behind their eyes.
You're so mystical.
What do you mean, Mister?
You're just so mystical.
Why
You
is
think
that?
of things different than most people. So go ahead. You look and see
I don't think it's,
what's
you know,
behind their eyes.
and then my awareness, I'm standing there and I can tell what's looking at who I am as essence from behind my eyes to them. That's cool. I say it's and I don't have to ask. I don't have to say, God, are you in there? God, are you in me? I question, where is God? No more. No more that stuff. That stuff is over. That stuff of finding God, I done be founded. He done be founded.
No.
What?
It's God finding himself.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
You're a tough little water plug.
God
You're a
finding
tough little
himself.
water plug.
It's God finding himself. It's God seeing himself in others. It's God. It's everything's God.
Don't knock me down like that, Shorty.
Well, I mean, we correct one another. So, here we go.
Knock me down and call me Shorty.
Anyway.
Okay.
Carolyn, welcome, my darling. That's
Ooh-wee.
Quadro's mom, I think.
Quadro's
mom. Mm-hmm.
Quadro's mom, where's she at?
Where is she?
Ooh, look at her. I see her.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that, Miss Carolyn. The essence that we're talking about is you writing that little note on the screen.
And I don't know. I keep messing your name up, sweetheart. I'm gonna call you Iona. I hope that's right.
Yeah.
She says God found himself in me.
Yes.
Yes, that's right, sweetie.
That's the mystical side
Mm-hmm.
of everything. God came, God found, God is settled. He is me and me be him. I don't go around putting it on a poster sign.
Right.
Right. But there's something so marvelous about knowing this. You don't have to, he may not come when you want him, man. He's always on time. No more of that stuff. It's over.
Yes.
It's over.
Yes, it's over. Judy says this, and I appreciate Judy saying it. She said, if someone is defensive or is tossing up reasons not to believe the teachings of non-duality, that's fine. Everyone is on their own path.
That's right.
If people find peace and solace through their traditional Christian teachings, more power to them.
Yes.
My experience differs from theirs, which sounds very dualistic to me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, just saying.
Yeah.
But but it's still true. It's very true, sweetheart. Very true what you're saying. I can,
I feel, I don't know what's the fan or the air conditioner, whatever it is. I can feel when we look at that, Miss Judy, I'm gonna say the word truth, but it's beyond that.
It is.
It's beyond that. It's beyond the word immaculate. It is beyond some of the bigger words. It is so absolute.
Yes.
You mean to tell me that we actually can pinpoint God in the innerverse and the outerverse and the universe as the real essence of everything in this stillness?
Mm-hmm.
All the noise that is made in the earth
mm-hmm.
does not change it. What's so amazing about it is that it don't have to come again. And then when you find out that there's something that wants it to always leave and come back.
Mm-hmm. Judy says she just got the chills.
Oh my God, I feel it all the way down to my 26, 7, 8, and 99 nerve.
Oh my gosh. So Ilona says,
yes,
I got it right. Ilona says, so things that are revealed to me, I already knew it.
Yes, it appears into the, I say the conditioned self or to the mind. that is being revealed, but you are the revelation of it without even any revealing.
Yes.
That's why it says what you're looking for is where you're looking from.
And I'll go back to what Judy said. Judy, you are so right. Sometimes people have to have their Christian tradition.
Yes, that's okay.
And that is okay. But I have said this, and it bears repeating, that we woke up right in the middle of the confines of the Christian religion.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so it's not impossible for anybody to wake up, no matter what the allegiance they have to which spiritual text or which spiritual group. Doesn't matter. Anybody can wake up. We were found in God, found himself in us,
waking up
right there in the midst of
and God,
evangelical, judgmental, legalistic, God's gonna get you mindset.
And I don't do it all the time. It's only as I see fit. I say to a person in the store, I can see the presence of God around you and in you. And some of the people I said to look at you right funny because they're not looking like that. But you know what? It is the most amazing thing to be awake and know that it's God right there. It's like fitting your hand in a glove.
Yeah.
It's a glove.
Yeah.
And every place in the glove is a place for your finger, and it's there.
Yeah.
That's why I call it there-ness. We are each other's essence, looking like we are separated.
Yeah, I like that. Say that again.
We are each other's essence, looking like we are separated.
Yes,
less to the man.
Vincent said this 2 months ago. I asked, can God even find God? Because God isn't lost. So then I thought, what has been found?
I tell you what, it sounds like a conspiracy going on behind the door, because here's what I found out. Jesus said in the book, he said he was the door. And if our essence is the same in you as in him, then we must be a door.
And the door to what?
The door to our true self. We are the true self, opening the door. But let's look at it like this. Who is the door?
Well, I want to go back to what Vincent said.
What
has been found?
Is it okay? I
like that, Vincent. I like that kind of question. I like those kinds of questions.
Here's what he told me about you. He said, didn't you know I was sleeping with you and in you every night? I said, yeah. I said, and I looked down and looked up. I said, I done found you. He said, no, I allowed you to discover.
But there was no you discovering. Okay. There was no you finding.
That's okay.
Only God can see himself. And only God can find himself.
Now.
So at the point that we feel like we have found God,
there's no finding.
That is, God has awakened to himself.
God
has awakened to himself.
Verbalize it, down on this level.
Yeah, we're working it as the best we can.
Vincent, you unraveled the. You
I'm have to work on that question.
That's there. He's telling you what it is right in there.
Oh, I know it. I know it. But that's a good question, because it'll take you so deep.
God.
It'll take you so deep into your awareness.
Yes.
Hey, Oliver, how you doing? He said, awakening is a guarantee by God. It's inevitable.
What if I told you God is playing a puzzle game like he's not us, but us sleep and waking up to himself? That's the clue.
Yes.
That's the clue.
Yes.
What's so amazing about this? All you names and people on this site now today, it's God talking to himself.
Linda says, maybe not found, but recognized. That recognizes is that is.
Girl, you're gonna make hair grow back on. You're gonna make hair grow on my head.
That recognizes is that has been looking and finds itself
That's right.
Looking at itself.
That is so That is so
It
pretty.
sounds like a
I
riddle,
think,
but it
oh,
is
Lord,
so
it's so pretty.
good. So
Oh
good.
Lord, there's something in me want to just. I see my spirit running outdoors up and down the street, and I just say it like it is. I found him. I found him. Oh wait a minute.
Judy says, "Remembered." Oh,
Remember,
yes, remembered.
get our memory back or a memory.
Not our memory back, but God gets its memory back.
Hey, that's a good one, y'all. We got to work on that a little bit.
That is good. That's good.
Is
you guys are preaching.
Is it possible that we can say God is the to me? I am the to him, and we are the to us, and we are the we us, the we him, and we they, and we are the they are.
Well, I just looked at my notes when you said that. It said, "What if we are the us that created this earth beast to live in, to experience this physical existence?"
That'll bake your cake.
I don't know when I wrote that, but hey, it sounds
Lord.
pretty good. It sounds pretty good. Ilona says it's like looking in the mirror and seeing the truth of who you really are. And yes, and it's like looking in the mirror, Ilona, and finally waking up to the fact that the image that you see in the mirror is not who you are, but that one that's looking in the mirror is who you are.
Sister Lona. Sister Lona. Now, Sister Lona. Sister Lona. I'm talking to you, girl. I'm talking to your essence. Sister Lona, do you mean that this mirror is us reflecting each other's true self?
Yes.
Back and forth?
Yes.
I hear my inside say, glory.
Yes.
Glory be to us. Glory be to God.
And when you recognize this and remember this, as Judy says, it's like the longing to find God, it goes, because you found God has been found. God has found itself, and there's no more longing to try to connect, because there's no need to do that.
It's no longer, if it is, you understand what it is.
You know what it is. Yes.
Looking.
Yes.
I'm looking for love. I'm looking here and there. I'm looking everywhere.
Oh, looking for a love. I'm looking for a love.
We ought to get on the road and make music, girl.
We'll starve.
And we're going to have to we'll be real skinny when you see us again.
Pearl says, "Hey, Pearl." She says, "What if we are the true self of God?" That's exactly what we're saying. That there is only one self with a capital S. But we have been believing in the concept of a little me that is separate, and that is not even who we are.
That is right.
That is so good.
That is right nice.
That's good.
And what's so good about it, nothing has to come to pass.
And he said, now comes the rest.
Yes.
Yes, the rest.
Yes.
And you remember, Jesus only promised us rest. He didn't promise us anything else. He said, come unto me, all you are burdened, heavily laden, and I will give you rest. He didn't promise to give you anything else. He didn't promise you miracles. He didn't promise you health. He didn't promise you wealth. He didn't promise you. He said, I'll give you rest. And most of us have not really longed for rest.
We are the life everlasting.
Yes, yes.
You know, I heard it said, you can't burn us. You can't shoot us.
You can't touch us.
You can't touch us. We are so that. But now, like I told somebody yesterday, my hat, I take it off and I put it on. The walk of the Spirit is seeing what we've been talking about.
That's what it is.
We used to think the walk of the Spirit was, you know, I see some programs dressed in white, dressed in black. If that accommodates you, that's fine. But I'm telling you, there's a button that we got in the closet where you push it. And what does it say? Easy.
That's easy.
That's easy. Lord, have mercy on my soul and anybody else's. The Lord God of Elijah, the Lord God of every man on the earth is his true self.
Every man on the earth is God's true self.
The true self. Now, I want to sit down at the table and have a little talk with
You realize
Jesus.
in the conversation that we're having with all of these beautiful people
Mhm.
that we have all come to the realization
Mhm.
that there is nothing else but God. We have come to that realization. Our minds resist it and sometimes don't want to go in that direction and resent it in a lot of cases because it still wants God to be an other. But we have come to that seeing.
Mhm.
And you remember the scripture that says, except a man be born again, he cannot see. So the
Okay.
reason we're seeing is because we are born again.
We are
We are the
born againness.
born again. Yes.
You know, there's a place inside that says what he said at rest.
Mm-hmm.
It is rest, eternal resting.
Yes.
We had a young lady we dealt with yesterday who came by with a parent to talk to us. And she was afraid because her father had passed, and she was afraid and been conditioned to believe that when the body is in the casket, we're still in it.
Yeah. And she was being tormented
She
by
was being
that
tormented
belief.
by that.
By
And
that
so we
belief.
took time to minister to her and to discuss this issue and point it out to her, just like we're doing now
Mhm.
in detail.
Mhm.
There are some people who are not going to be say, wake up to this. There are thousands of people in the earth that are now having experiences that God is showing them
Yes.
who He really is by giving them what is really it takes for them to wake up to their true self. Some near-death experiences, some enlightenment, some scripture, some book, anything. But God is not going to limit Himself to just one way.
No, that's
Because
right.
I heard somebody say,
That's
when
right.
we wake up, it affects others all over the universe.
Well, in her case, the young lady that you're speaking of, it took the loss of two
people in her family,
important
two
people
loved ones.
in her life,
Yeah.
who and that opened her up to have the conversation. And so
And the people around her looked like they would have told her, but they didn't.
but it was her timing.
It was her timing.
Yes.
That's right.
It was her timing.
It is, you know, I like this when God is on the scene, he's scrumptiously delicious. He is so tasteful that he's tasteless. It's like I said, I eat the food and God digests it. But then I looked around one way and God is being assimilated all through our being.
And we as sentient beings,
Scented, okay, I like that.
beings with 5 senses that
Yes.
connect with this physical world, are acclimating to this God life.
Now watch this.
We are acclimating to this God life just as a baby, an infant acclimates to its body. And so it's a whole new way of living that we're talking about. Most of us have embarked on this new way of living, and we're still working out the kinks in it. I'm saying that because of something that Vincent said, shared here. He says, other day a guy cut me off really bad in traffic, and I asked, why would you do that? Inside, I heard a voice saying, I'm working on something all the time. For you, it has to play out. For me, it is already.
Ooh.
So that's exactly what I'm saying. We are acclimating to this God life, this sentient being, this being of humanity is acclimating to this God life. And every incident, even the bad traffic incident, is to work that out in us. And I like the way Vincent said, I'm working on something all the time, which God is always working on something all the time. God is always working on something all the time. For you, it has to play out. And Vincent, I want to remind you of my experience I had years ago in the mirror, because you reminded me of that, how that when I had that initial awakening and opening, when I was standing in the mirror and my face transfigured, and I heard the Spirit say to me, your eyes are my eyes, your mouth is my mouth, and so on. I had a second experience after that, years after that, where it actually came. I was standing in the mirror again in the restroom, and I heard this said. He said, "Are you ready for me to stay out?" And I've shared this with my husband. Stay out meaning it's like he emerges, and then that Antoinette that I am goes back into him. And he said, "Are you ready for me to stay out?" And of course, I answered yes. And he said, "Well, I'm going to go back in and work a while until I can stay out." And so I haven't had that experience anymore because evidently he has now worked till he is now out.
Yeah.
And I understand what Vincent is saying.
Now.
All I have is the knowing. Yes. Yes.
No bells and whistles.
Right. There's no experience, no phenomenal experience either of a coming out and a going back in, and that's over.
Can you imagine if you go back and read the book? It said on the Mount of Transfiguration, Jesus appeared, Moses and Elijah was there. And then you look back over and said the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven is inside of us. It is us.
Yes. Yes.
It is us.
Yes.
I wrote this down. We have been in many bodies. We are and have been and still is.
And God has been in many bodies.
Yeah, many. But we have had many suits. I got clothes upstairs hung up in the closet. I don't wear them anymore. I wear certain things now. But even all those clothes up there is not me.
Right. At one time they were.
At one time they identified with them. Got it. One time identify with them. That's what make people, what do you call that, piling up stuff in the house? Hoarding.
Yes.
Hoarding.
That's why I've been decluttering all this year.
I used to call it hoarding. But hoarding, they pile it up. There's something in the realm of the soul that is attached to this stuff.
Yes.
And still identify with old bodies, past experiences.
Still believe that is who we are. And the reason we are attached to clothes and stuff and things is because we have identified with that as a part of us. It's us. And we wanted to present ourselves with that.
Now, for instance, since a week or two ago, my ears have been humming constantly. I can hear it now while I'm talking to you. I look at it and I've talked to the ear, nose, and throat doctor and all that kind of stuff. And the MRI the report came, there's nothing wrong with it inside. No physical wrong. The hearing is just making an adjustment somewhere in that. But I can hear out of my right ear, but I don't stop because of the noise.
Right. So why is God choosing to have this experience?
That's a good one.
Why is God choosing to have this experience?
Wow.
Now, anyway, I'm going to look at some of these comments
because
they're good. Then it says, others are just different expressions of the real you. Only God experiencing an individual viewpoints. Yes, darling, that's exactly right. And Carolyn says, it's the ego who resists, not resists itself. Okay, I'm not sure I understand the last part, but I understand what you're saying. Ego that is resisting. Exactly. And Vincent, okay, I read that one.
Okay.
Let me go on down to some more comments. They're
coming down.
Yeah.
They're talking to
and
us
Vincent
now.
said, there's things that God is doing we will never understand. Exactly, sweetie.
Okay, what did she say?
Who?
Alona said something.
Alona says, my grandson is only a year old and he throws the ball like he was being thrown 4 years. like he's been throwing for years. Okay. Yeah.
That's essence.
Yes.
Essence. The dropping the body.
So Carolyn says the ego resists, not the mind.
That's right.
But isn't the ego the mind?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. No.
Yes. No. No. Yes. No. Yeah. You know what? When you find the truth out about your essence,
really matter.
It don't even matter.
This resisting.
All I can tell you is that I hear the swishing sound in my ear, but I have to bypass it and keep talking and listen and pay attention. Once in a while, I get over into it and identify with it, and it
Right.
makes a mess. But I
Right.
get out of it.
Yeah,
I have to
I
get
understand now what Alona was saying. She was talking about her the little boy
Throwing
throwing,
baseball.
and like been throwing all of his life, and she said it's like he remembered that he was good at it, like he's been here before, like he remembered that he
Thank
knew
you.
how
Thank
to
you.
do it.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you. Now,
yes,
we
yes.
called it, I call it the Melchizedek order of memory.
And-
Essence does not lose its memory. It doesn't operate through memory.
right.
Essence does not have a process of bringing things around. If it is, use it, or if it is, let's just say, it's some way or another, it gets through to us.
Yes. Well, in when I asked the question, why is God choosing to have this experience? Because in myself, God has chosen to have the experience of the body color changing all back and forth, back and forth. So but in the process of that happening, there have been so many remembrances, times of remembering, Judy, times that I began to remember in the midst of that adversity, what I called an adversity. I started remembering things about my true self. Yeah.
There was a man that was following and watching Jesus in the crowd. Jesus dropped the cross.
Yes.
He picked it up and carried it for him. Wonder where we were. Where were we? We were.
Were we not one with him or as him?
We were inside of every
The
person.
essence of us.
The essence.
The essence of us.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, one of the attendants at the doctor's office today told me, he said, the hearing part in this left ear and what they did to bring it back, the brain,
takes time. It takes time.
The brain is working and doing something. But the ability of this vessel to hear and translate sound vibrations, it has to be a miraculous thing or a normal thing of essence to be able to do this. Yes. What we call spectacular is called normal.
Yes. Judy says, let's go play in the kingdom. Let's enjoy this life as God.
Like that.
Extending love in all the ways imaginable and not yet imaginable. Let's have some fun while still inhabiting these bodies. That's good, Judy. That's very good. And then Vincent says, once you identify with the light, wouldn't you not become that which is as you are? I strongly believe that Jesus changed his identity in himself and identified himself with the light and becoming that. I believe that too, Vincent. In fact, I know that. That's actually what's happened. Jesus came just like we did, not really having an understanding, but he found the understanding. He had the same kind of an awakening. And I think some of us come and we don't realize that the incidents and the events that we experience are bringing us to that very point, bringing us to that point. And that light, and I remember I said this on Sunday about Francis Lucille, who's another non-dual teacher, sage, who said this. He said, there are two kinds of mystical experiences. In fact, some people who have near-death experiences, they leave their bodies and they see the light. He said, but they come back to their bodies still separate because they didn't have an experience in their near-death experience of becoming one with the light. Some people leave their bodies, have a near-death experience, and merge with that light.
And some don't.
And so they come back knowing that oneness.
Coming from the true self of essence before coming into this world, we knew that we had to take on a different face.
This is these had some ear things going on. My left, he says, my left ear's been ringing as well as my right ear popping all the time.
Really?
It's irritating. Yeah. And I don't know for a fact, Vincent, but it could come from a lot of the musical things that we've done.
Loud noise, the brain,
the volume of the music and things that we've listened to. So I don't, I'm not saying.
Please understand, it does have an effect on your social life. The social life of you being in a restaurant. Now, I can still hear people's thoughts. and I know where it's coming from, but I can also
That's a
hear the
different set of
noise.
ears.
Uh,
That's a different
a
set
different
of
set of
ears.
ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear that. What we are and what we're going through, we agreed on it. All the names that was given to us, many names
Yes.
to address many suits. See, I have Hart Schaffner mark upstairs. I have herringbone,
You have some couple of Steve Harveys up there.
couple of Steve Harvey suits. These are suits,
Mm-hmm.
but none of these suits by name carry my name.
None of these suits anymore suit you.
That's well, hot dog, suit me.
None of them suit you
They don't suit
anymore.
me.
Mm-hmm.
I know one suit that fit me, sitting right here beside me.
Vincent said, "Oh yeah, we used to get down on Wendover." Yes, sir. I mean, it was so loud. I think all our ears were ringing.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
But
I
look,
remember that so
we had
well.
so much fun. We didn't care. We didn't care.
You know, Vincent, I missed that. Once in a while, I talk to the other Vincent, hadn't talked to him in a while, and we talk about those moments. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I pick my guitar a little bit in there when I'm listening to some of the stuff.
Ilona says, "Well, hot dog."
Ooh, Lord,
yeah, we had some times, I'll tell you, and they're good memories. They're good memories, and I realized that I don't know now if I could live in that atmosphere all the time because of what I know now, but it was just fun. It was just fun, and I think that we took it too seriously a lot of times when it was just really just having fun. It was God having fun. We had a lot of church bloopers, and we could have won America's Funniest Videos. I tell you that.
We had some time.
Norma said, "Yes, we did. Yes, we did."
I am looking forward to investigate more into this.
Oh, and I forgot that, Jill. She said the whistle that Paulette blew.
The whistle, yeah. Yeah.
And she would blow a whistle, exactly.
They blow whistles and we've been enjoying to use washboards.
Yeah, no, wow, yes.
Remember?
With a spoon,
yes. We had to take a spoon and fork and
washboards and spoons. Yeah. What was more fun, Vincent, was when we would make our own prophetic music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We would get in the pocket.
Yeah.
And man, we'd come up with some beautiful songs.
Oh, what you talking about?
Beautiful songs.
Some of the songs and the poetry and the rhymes and oh Lord, it was really amazing.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going back now.
We were in the zone. We were in the zone.
We're still locked in. We had, you know what's so good about it? That physical thing may not be around, but the essence that we're talking about never changed.
Yes.
Look, you guys have been really wonderful.
Alona says she remembers the washboard.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
look
then
at
some
that.
people would take the spoons, the two spoons, and play them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then there were tambourines. We didn't do a lot of tambourines, did we?
No, a few of them did, not many.
Yeah. Well, we went to a lot of old country churches.
You did little squeaky floors.
Little churches where the floors would sway, and
yes, Lord.
And you kind of sit there wondering what's going to happen next.
Some of the buildings were sitting on blocks that look like they're ready to fall down when you jump. You know.
Vincent said he still does that at home.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But
you miss it. Yeah.
You know, I do miss that, but at the same time, it brings such fond memories when you think.
You're right, Brother James. And you were playing the guitar a lot of times.
Yes,
sir. Sure was.
Brother James, I'll never forget, would come to the house, and he and Pastor would sit in the basement and play all day.
Guitar all day long. That's right.
All day.
Yeah, that's right. Brother James, we miss seeing you and all the people online with us tonight. We wish we could have a good big round table discussion.
Well, we're having a good round table.
I mean, we have it now, but I mean, just
you mean in physically, person. You would love to be able to do
because
that.
I have been contemplating about whether I should go after a place where we can call physical beings together and do a round table discussion in person. Yeah. I'd like to do that, but in the meantime,
thank you, Jill, for posting.
Who do we have?
Jill always reminds us to post for people to give, and thank you, Jill. She always does.
Who did we have a chance to meet last week or this weekend past?
Who did we have a chance to meet?
They flew down with Oliver.
Yeah. Now, see,
Most
a
of
lot
them
of
don't
these
know
people
them.
don't know who
Yeah,
they
but
are.
these are
But
real-
now,
these-
some of you would.
Will,
We
yeah.
finally got a chance to meet in person because Oliver was gracious enough to have them come to his home, and we got a chance to meet them. Lisa Natoli and Bill Free.
Yeah, they helped us a lot.
The founders of Teachers of God and
they helped
Course
us a
in
lot.
Miracles teachers. They're wonderful non-dual teachers now. And we had a chance to meet with them, and it was just beautiful.
But I reach out to all of you the same way. I hug you and I love you with the love of the essence heart of God.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank
she
you.
said she put something in the mail for us today. Thank you,
Thank
sweetheart.
you so much. We need it because we had this last few times we didn't see much.
And we understand summer months, people are moving around, vacations, reunions. Everybody's trying to do the
some
fun
holiday
things.
coming up this weekend.
Yeah, we're coming up on Independence Day.
Independence.
Yeah. So make sure you have fun, be safe while you're doing that. Yeah, Bill and Lisa.
We thank you.
Natoli.
Yeah.
We enjoyed that so much. I felt so loved. And I felt so loving.
Yes,
in the process
it was wonderful.
Of that.
Oliver, you did a wonderful, wonderful chore there. You really blessed us to get together with you and Lisa and Bill and all the other little Bills and little Lisas.
So, and by the way, Oliver and Yolanda come on Truly Live every Thursday at 7. So go ahead and listen to them. They got some good information that they're putting out.
Yeah.
And you would enjoy it, I'm pretty sure. And thank you, Pearl. Thank you so much,
Miss Pearl, I need to talk to you, girl.
Yeah.
But I'm talking to you. I need to talk to you. Give me a call. But I thank you so much. We love you all. And we're going to look forward to talking to you again on Thursday at 12:30.
Oh, thank you for all the love, Vincent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandra.
Boy, a bunch of Look at that.
Look, we've experienced so much love, haven't we, honey?
Yes, we have.
You guys, those of you who are local and those of you who are
and
far
those
away,
who are watching us now and you're not responding, we still know your heart is with us.
You're watching.
I don't care what you say, what you do. It's still essence right there in all of you.
And do this for me while we're talking. I want you to hit that like button and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Go ahead and do that now while we're on. That way it pushes us up and it helps us to get in the algorithm so people can find us easily. And it causes us to be at the top of the list when they search things. So do that for us now.
Yeah, Miss Sandra, we love the both and the all of us. All of you guys out there. We would not be able to do what we're doing if it wasn't for you guys. And we really appreciate you. Okay.
And you keep us encouraged.
Please do.
You always do keep us encouraged.
Please do. Okay.
And you're always in our hearts. We think of you often, and we're praying with you, and we're believing for your best, your good to come forth. And we just love you. We'll be back again on Thursday at 12:30 with Pastor Norman.
Yes.
With Impromptu. You guys need to look at that. If you haven't watched this, you need to look at that because it's just a conversation that we have, and we never know what we're going to talk about, but then it turns out to be so much.
It's fun.
So much.
It's fun. It's good
that
fun.
Comes out of it.
Good fun. Happy fun.
Yes.
Thank you again.
Yes.
We'll be, as the old folks say, we'll be looking at you.
Yes. Hey, sissy. Bye, sissy.
See you later.
See you later.